On Monday, June 22nd this year, President Trump has signed an executive order that extends the ban of entry of non-US citizens to enter to the United States under non-immigrant visas. What does this mean, and how can we move on from here? Welcome back to my channel, and for those who are new here, welcome to Share Tank. If you want to read the full presidential proclamation of President Trump, you can click on the link on top of this video, somewhere on top. If not, watch till the end of this video. In this video, I will try to break down some points, raise some questions for clarification, and what we can do while the executive order is still in place. Breakdown number 1. On the website whitehouse.gov, the announcement is entitled Proclamation Suspending Entry of Aliens Who Present a Risk to the U.S. labor market following the coronavirus outbreak. And please take note, the word alien means foreigner. Breakdown number 2. What could have been the reason of President Trump to have signed this executive order? An article on HuffPost says that a senior official says that the visa suspension announced on Monday will open up 525,000 jobs for U.S. workers. However, the official did not explain how the U.S. government got this figure. Breakdown number 3. Who are affected in this new executive order? The affected are foreigners who are seeking H-1B visas and H-2B visas, and any alien accompanying or following to join such alien. Affected as well are foreigners who are seeking for a J-1 visa. These includes interns, trainees, teachers, camp counselor, au pair, or summer work travel program. And again, any alien accompanying or joining to follow such alien. Another affected are foreigners who are seeking L visa, and also alien who are accompanying or following to join this foreigner. Breakdown number 4. If you are an alien seeking for non-immigrant visas and also the following characteristics, you are outside the United States on the effective date of this proclamation. You don't have a valid non-immigrant visa on the effective date of this proclamation. You do not have an official travel document other than the visa that you have. Later, we will raise some questions or clarifications about this part of the proclamation. Breakdown number 5. Who are not affected by this proclamation? You don't have to worry if you are a lawful permanent resident of the United States. In other words, if you have already a green card. You are not also affected by this proclamation if you are a foreigner who happens to be a spouse or a child of a U.S. citizen. Any foreigners seeking to enter the United States to provide temporary labor or services essential to the United States food supply chain are not affected by this proclamation. And definitely you are not affected if you are a foreigner whose entry would be a national interest as determined by the Department of State, the Secretary of Homeland Security, or their respective designees. Lastly, breakdown number 6. Until when is this in effect? According to the proclamation, this will take effect until December 31st this year. And here are some points of clarification being raised by maybe those who might be affected by this proclamation. According to the proclamation, the U.S. government is suspending and limiting the entry of the aliens. It did not say that it is suspending and limiting the process of visa application. Thus, this means that for those who have already paid for their visa application, maybe your visa application will be ongoing. I remember in my case when there was a year wherein the US government shuts down its operation, At that time, I was applying for my green card. Despite the shutting down of the US government operations, the processing of my green card was still ongoing. When we asked the officials about this, they said it had to be ongoing because we paid for it. So I think visa application is one of those services wherein it has to continue because these services are funded by consumer money. Another point of clarification, since it mentioned that this is for the benefit of the American people, because this will open 525,000 jobs for them, this may bring out again the issue of, do immigrants really steal jobs from the locals? Here's a video clip of Dr. Michio Kaku about this issue.
However, the information revolution has a weakness, and the weakness is precisely the educational system. The United States has the worst educational system known to science. Our graduates compete regularly at the level of third world countries. So how come the scientific establishment of the United States doesn't collapse? If we're producing a generation of dummies, if the stupid index of America keeps rising every year, just watch network television and reality shows, right? How come the scientific establishment of the United States doesn't collapse? Let me tell you something. Some of you may not know this. America has a secret weapon. That secret weapon is the H-1B. Without the H-1B, the scientific establishment of this country would collapse. Forget about Google. Forget about Silicon Valley. There would be no Silicon Valley without the H-1B. And you know what the H-1B is? It's the genius visa, okay? You realize that in the United States, 50% of all PhD candidates are foreign-born. At my system, one of the biggest in the United States, 100% of the PhD candidates are foreign-born. The United States is a magnet sucking up all the brains of the world, but now the brains are going back. Right. They're going back to China. They're going back to India. And people are saying, oh my God, there's a Silicon Valley in India now. Oh my God, there's a Silicon Valley in China. Duh. Where did it come from? It came from the United States. So don't tell me that science isn't the engine of prosperity. You remove the H-1B visa and you collapse the economy. In Wall Street Journal, editorialized against a congressman who wanted to ban the H-1B, saying they'll take jobs away from the American people. The Wall Street Journal said, look, there are no Americans who can take these jobs. These are at the highest level of high technology. They don't take away jobs from Americans. They create entire industries. And so that's why we have an Achilles heel, and that's the educational system.
The link of the full video of Dr. Michio Kaku is provided above your screen. According to the proclamation, because of the high rate of issuance of working visas, many Americans are pushed into the boundary between unemployment and employment, and most of them include African American and other minorities, those without college degree, Americans with disabilities. However, some argue that suspending the H-1B visa and the J-1 visas cannot address this issue. Specifically, the H-1B visa is intended for highly skilled workers. Some employers in the United States look for those individuals with college degree. So if the proclamation says that this will open job for those without college degree by suspending the H-1B visa, there might be a disconnect. Many ask, if we suspend the H-1B visa, does this mean that employers will hire those individuals without any bachelor's degree? Many media outlets have observed that many school districts are hiring teachers through the J-1 visa. Some reports say foreign teachers with J-1 visa are filling in positions that American teachers are not willing to take. According to the CBS News, professors and scholars will be excluded from the J-1 visa restriction, and prospective H-2B visa holders looking for work in the food processing industry will not be affected by the presidential decree. And also, the proclamation will not affect visa applicants who are already in the United States or those foreigners abroad who have already the visa. So can we still hope? Here are some points wherein we can still continue hoping. Number one, this is just temporary. I have 2 videos about proactive steps which you can take while waiting for the lifting of this ban. You can either click on the link above this video or wait until the end of this video so that the links will be provided to you. Another point wherein we can still be hopeful is that there is a part of the provision that says within 30 days of June 24, 2020, and every 60 days thereafter while this proclamation is in effect, the Secretary of Homeland Security shall, in consultation with the Secretary of State and the Secretary of Labor, recommend any modifications as may be necessary. I will not give you false hopes on this one, but this does not stop us from still hoping that if there are changes, they will be beneficial for all of us. Having that said, please subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so that I can notify you about the changes immediately. Many are still hopeful that there might be changes because big companies in the United States are against this proclamation. Say, for example, published on the news outlet called The Guardian. According to the article, Amazon called the move short-sighted in a statement, saying that preventing high-skilled professionals from entering the country and contributing to America's economic recovery puts Americans' global competitiveness at risk. And also in the same article, immigration has contributed immensely to America's economic success, making it a global leader in tech and also Google, the company it is today. This statement was from Sundar Pichai, the chief executive of Google. Disappointed by today's proclamation, will continue to stand with immigrants and work to expand opportunity for all. That is from the executive of Google. If you want to read the full text of this article, again, links are provided above the screen. So let's suppose if the changes hereafter will not benefit the teachers or the foreigners outside of the United States, or the ban will persist until the end of the year. Should we still be hopeful? I believe we should. In the case of the teachers, here's an article from Fox News. According to the article written by Andrew O'Reilly of Fox News, it's entitled GOP Reps Introduce Bill to Halt or to Stop a School's Federal Funding if not open for in-person learning in the fall. So maybe this is a blessing in disguise, especially for those teachers who are outside of the United States and who are dreaming or aspiring to be in the United States for an international teaching career. Since there are still a lot of debate whether they should have an online teaching or an in-person class, maybe this will benefit all of us, especially that we have not totally eradicated the coronavirus here in the United States. Another point why this proclamation of a suspension of non-immigrant visa is that it may have a long-term effect on our career, especially on our salary. Here's an article written by Shankar Vedantam entitled Graduating High School During a Recession Could Be a Good Thing, Study Finds. According to this article, this pandemic may eventually cause an economic crisis in the United States. This will be disadvantageous for those who are joining the workforce during this economic crisis. Because according to Shankar Vedantam, working during the economic crisis may actually lower down your base of salary, and it will have a long-term effect. And he further explains that actually this will be advantageous for high school graduates, but not so good for college graduates. Because again, college students may have the tendency to join the workforce. The advantage of high school graduates is this. According to Shankar, the study found that high school graduates may choose to work when the economy is good. But when the economy is not so good, a high school graduate may tend to further their studies. And just like what I said in my previous videos, that while waiting for the lifting of the ban, whether that's J1 visa or H1B visa, try to prepare or upgrade yourself, because in the United States, your education will always count. This will definitely increase your salary. So how do we move on from here, and what is our takeaway so far? So given that it is temporary and may change in every 60 days, and that your profession is essential to the American people and to the US economy, I urge you to, again, do some proactive steps to prepare yourself until the lifting of the ban. For those who are aspiring for J1B visa, again, J1B visa is for skilled workforce, and even the J1 visa, they are not hiring. In the case of the teachers, they are hiring teachers with at least a bachelor degree. Just a bonus information, especially for those who are aspiring for the H1B visa. According to the news outlet called The Guardian, this current administration is proposing a new way of awarding the H1B visas. One official said that it may be based on the highest salary instead by lottery. For me, what this means is that I think since the salary is proportionate to your educational qualification, this brings me back to my point that while preparing for, or while waiting until for the lifting of the ban of entry, maybe you have to upgrade yourself. Take those graduate school degree program and take as many credit hours or units as much as you can while waiting until the lifting of the ban of non-immigrant visas. And also there is one thing, one reason why others are still hopeful that this development may change. This may change depending on the result of the presidential election this November this year. And just a word of advice, for those who are really aspiring to be here in the United States after hearing this development, please do not be desperate. Please open your mind. Please stay positive. Being desperate and worried about this development may not be helpful for you. When the day came that there was an announcement of the suspension of immigrant visas and other visas, and particularly in the Philippines, the suspension of the application for the J1 visa, I have heard stories from my friends that there are travel agencies or recruitment agencies who ask for fees whose amount are twice than what has been originally required, with the promise of changing their application from J1 to H1. Please be careful. And again, if you are a non-US citizen who is outside the United States and who does not have a visa yet, you are not allowed to enter the United States. So please be very careful. Read from valid sources, from credible sources, and don't be a victim of illegal recruiters. So if we suppose that the ban of entry of foreigners to the United States will be until the end of the year, there must be another way or path for every one of us. Please subscribe to the channel for more updates and for more alternative paths that you can take. I have already planned out a series of videos and topics for ways and places for you that may serve as your stepping stone, your way of coming to the United States or somewhere else better. If you find the content of this video to be helpful, please click on the like icon. Don't forget to subscribe to support this channel. Thank you so much, and until next time. In Share Tank, we are just sharing what also matters. Thank you.